Welcome, everyone, to Kinesiology 121, Concepts of Wellness. I'm Dr. Beasley, your instructor for the course, and this presentation is just to provide you with a general overview of our course and some of the expectations for the next 6 weeks. Now, before you jump right in, take a moment and familiarize yourself with the course layout and the design. Also, be sure to spend some time reading through the syllabus in its entirety. For the most part, the weekly modules are going to follow the same format. I'll generally have a video that provides some instructions and review some of the expectations for the week. And then there's going to be some information. Hopefully it's useful for you, usually a reminder or some other comments. And then there's going to be all the course related information. I'll typically have a faith integration component, and this may be a devotional, a video, or just a faith-based story. And there are no points for the faith integration assignment, but I do hope that it will be motivational or inspirational for you as you progress through the course. I'll also have some required reading assignments in the discussion forums, video presentations, tests, and other important required information. There's additional information that's included within each assignment form. So if you select one of the form links, it's going to provide you with more information and guidance, sometimes some links, additional links towards completing those assignments. So be sure you read through all of that information for a complete understanding of each of the assignment expectations. Don't just take what you see on that first screen as all of the instructions for a particular assignment. There's always more. And this course is considered asynchronous, and this means that you can log into Moodle at any time to complete your coursework on your own schedule. I don't have any required login times, so feel free to access the weekly information and progress at your own pace. Now, you must make sure you do log in regularly, usually 2 to 3 times a week, to receive attendance credit. If you don't, you will not receive attendance credit for that particular week. And I'll open each weekly module on Monday mornings, and most of the coursework will need to be completed by the following Sunday evening. Discussion forums, on the other hand, are going to require you to post a response during the week, usually on Tuesday, and then engage in discussions with classmates and respond to them by Thursday. Because in the online setting, a lot of students fail to see the value in threaded discussions, but the purpose of these are to mimic that in-class communication that takes place in the face-to-face setting, and the discussion forums give you an opportunity to share your ideas and maybe even test or challenge your ideas in comparison to your classmates. Also, to hopefully see things from a different perspective, to contribute and engage in course material and ultimately enhance your learning. So don't take these for granted. They are important for your learning and they are important for your success in the class. You have my contact information. It's posted in Moodle as well as in the course syllabus. So feel free to call me, feel free to email me, or even in the case of an emergency, go ahead and text me. I want to be available for you to answer any of your questions and clarify anything that may be confusing. So don't feel that you're bothering me. If something is not quite clear or you're unsure, go ahead and shoot me a message. There's also the Q&A form in Moodle, and you can post any course-related questions there at any time. Now, keep in mind that all the students in the course can view those questions, so make sure you avoid posting anything that's personal. Also, anyone can respond to the questions in the Q&A form. So if you see a question there and you know the answer to it, go ahead and feel free to answer it. I'll typically also respond to those questions within 6 to 12 hours of posting it, so you'll have my comments on there as well. Now, I do need to set some boundaries for myself, so I'm not just sitting there on my computer all the time every day of the week. Now, I will rarely or periodically check my messages on Saturdays, but I do not read my emails. Sometimes I don't even keep my phone with me on Sundays, so no messages will be responded to on Sundays. And this is why it's important to work on material during the week, because if you have a question, but you wait till the last minute to ask it, typically it won't get answered until the following Monday. So as you take a look through the syllabus, you'll see some of the course descriptions. The course is really an introductory study to what I call the 5 core dimensions of wellness, including the spiritual, physical, emotional, social, and intellectual dimensions. And the idea is to evaluate your own personal life and the habits as they relate to each of these dimensions, and understand how they can contribute to your quality of life, and challenge yourself to improve in the areas in which you may be struggling, and then understand why it's even important to gain a balance within all these dimensions of wellness. There is a lot of material to cover in just a short period of time, so be sure you avoid procrastinating and always try your best to plan and to organize your time carefully. There's not a lot of room for mistakes, and you don't want to find yourself wishing you did things a little bit differently. So Don't think that you can complete everything on the weekend. And this is a misconception with online education. A lot of students think that it's easier when in actuality it's a lot more challenging. Not only is the expectation to cover more content in a shorter period of time, but it's also something that requires you to be more diligent, more proactive, and even more disciplined, so you have time to complete the coursework in addition to balancing everything else you have going on in your life. You'll see that there are a lot of different learning outcomes, the kinesiology program student learning outcomes, as well as the course student learning outcomes. Go ahead and familiarize yourself with these. They will be addressed and assessed throughout this course. And then the textbook for the course is the Walters and Beale text, Christian Paths to Health and Wellness. You'll see in the syllabus that there are additional readings which will be provided through Moodle. I've also included in the syllabus what I call tips for success. And these are some things that are vital to your success in the course and in your education overall. And I've included these for a reason, so don't simply overlook them or take them for granted. You are accountable for what you learn in this course, and following these tips will be helpful. And as I mentioned before, there's a lot of work to do in this class, and it needs to be completed in a short period of time. And the quality of your work is important, so following these tips to success will be beneficial for you. Also in the syllabus, you'll see the course calendar and the weekly expectations, and this just gives you a quick look at the topics that are going to be covered. I'll typically mimic this information within Moodle, but be sure you are checking this to find out the due dates and just what's coming up. All assignments are going to need to be typed. They're going to need to be professionally completed and also display a high quality level of work. Give some time and attention to your assignments. All of them must follow APA formatting guidelines, which includes a cover sheet with your name, the title of the assignment, the instructor's name, course number, the name of class, and even the date. Now, failure to include this simple information is going to result in a loss of points, so be sure you are consistently following APA formatting expectations, and this is part of almost every rubric for each assignment in the class. And the assignments for the course include the following: the attendance and participation, which is determined by you just simply logging into Moodle a few times each week and completing the assignments. There's going to be several lab assignments to complete, the tests, one test each week, video reflection, threaded discussions, your debate paper, your public service announcement, and the script that goes along with that, and then your signature assignment, which is the wellness research paper. There are written guidelines and instructions for all of these assignments, in addition to some podcast or presentation material covering the expectations. I've tried to provide you with some thorough and detailed information, but all of that is useless unless you read it. So be sure you are reading through all posted information before attempting to complete the assignments, and be sure that you are watching any video presentations in its entirety. It's pretty clear when I view your assignments as to whether or not you've read the instructions or listened to the information covering the expectations. Take some time, view all the material, ask questions if you're unsure about something. I don't know what you don't know unless you ask me. So be sure that you're clear on that. I have noted the point values that are listed in the syllabus for you. Go ahead and follow along with that as you get your assignments, so you can kind of keep track so you have a good idea as to where you're standing in the classroom. In addition, you'll see the estimated time to complete the assignments. Of course, this is going to vary from student to student, so hopefully the times listed there don't scare you or freak you out too much, but it just provides a general estimate on how much time you should be spending on preparing for, reading, researching, investigating material, writing, and even revising your assignments. All of those things are considered class time, and all of them contribute to your high quality, thoughtful, and thorough assignment submissions. Also, you'll see my message to you in regards to teaching and learning. Take a moment and read that. It's basically me on my soapbox. The bottom line is that you'll get out of this course, and any other course for that matter, as much as you put into it. You are ultimately responsible for how much you learn. And I do hope the information in this class is meaningful, it's beneficial, and I hope you're able to see what you can take and apply from the course to improve your personal overall health and wellness. All of the assignments in the course must be submitted in Moodle, and all of them must be submitted as a Microsoft Word file or a document. If you're using an older word processing program, or if you're using Pages, for example, which is just Mac's version of Microsoft Word, you can always save or export your assignment as a Microsoft Word file. So be sure that you do that. If I can't read your file, or if I can't access it or open it, I can't give you credit for it. And this the late penalty will apply to this also. So always be aware of the due dates and times of the assignments, and make sure that you are aware of the type of file format you are submitting. Any late submission is going to immediately receive a 25% point deduction regardless. No excuses, no exceptions. And this also applies to assignments submitted in the incorrect format. If I'm unable to open it or read it, I can't grade it, 25% point deduction will be applied. And here's a note on assignment submissions also. A lot of students tend to try to revise their assignments and resubmit them. If you submit an assignment on time, but then you realize you made some mistakes, if you cannot correct those mistakes before the due date, just leave the assignment as is. Because if you do make revisions and you submit an assignment or resubmit an assignment after the due date, it will be considered late and the point deduction will be applied. With the test also, there are no second attempts or makeup opportunities. If you forget to complete a test, you're going to receive a 0 for that test. So be sure you're holding yourself accountable and aware of the due dates of the assignments. This is a 3-unit course, and you are expected to spend between 15 to 25 hours a week on course-related content. A lot of students try to squeeze that time into the weekend, and if you're waiting until the weekend to begin working on assignments, not only are you setting yourself up for the need to make excuses because something will always go wrong, but you're also sacrificing the quality of the work that you produce. It's pretty clear when you complete your assignment as to how much time was spent on that assignment. So don't sacrifice the outcome of the course simply because of procrastination. There will be times when I may send periodic updates or announcements through Moodle. These will either be communicated that way, or I will only be using your FPU email. So be sure you check the Moodle site and your FPU provided email regularly. I will not be providing any information or notifying you through personal emails, only what we have on file. There are also instructions on how to forward your email or set up the email on your mobile device. So please, if you need that information, ask. I'm not going to communicate with personal emails, but if you have that set up on your phone, you will receive those frequent updates or any revisions that I've made. And if you've not done so, familiarize yourself with the grading scale and the university policies and procedures. There are some important things that as a student you need to be aware of, which are included in these policies and procedures. So it's important that you spend some time reading through those if you haven't done so already. And let me take a moment and emphasize the importance of completing your own work. We have had a significant amount of students who have been identified as plagiarizing. If you obtain any information from any other source, be sure you cite that source within your writing. I've included a PowerPoint presentation on avoiding plagiarism because this is very important. An academic integrity violation can result not only in a fail in the class and the violation being reported to the dean of the university, but you can also be dismissed from the university. So be sure to avoid any possible plagiarism violations and always get into the habit of citing your information and your material. Now, at any time, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. I am here to help you. I'm here to clarify anything that may be confusing. So reach out to me, email me, text me, call me, however you can get a hold of me. I want to take care of you. I want to make sure that you're successful in this class. So take care for now, and we will see you online.